Locho sampo pa gyo trashi pa tuche tempe tinle yarngonda pelge drolor zampe tse parche palden lame shabla solvade Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timonisha Sane Karma Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Oma Guru Vajradhara Suma Timonisha Sane Karma Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhar Soma Timonisha Sane Kar Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Vars Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhar Soma Timonisha Sane Kar Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajradhar Suma Timonisha Sane Kar Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Suma Timonisha Sane Kar Uta Vardanya Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Dagi Chetson Lama Tuje Che Nyamda Dala Tuje Sikso So Kebe Shesan Dala Tendo So Oyon Sunge Nawa Tsedo So Tseche Ningne Sawa Debet Techen Korlo Viso Lekshune Ila Sambe Dede Malupa Gemel Hungi Drupra Jingi Lo Tsonyi Sodan Dikden Shapet Dingi Namge Yenso Lekshune Alapchen Tsonyi Yonso Zopad Cherani Din Chamra Anjo Pargi Nizен Tugund Nye Peme Sidru Lekshune Jancho Drube Gegen Kunshishi Tingen De La Drupra Jingil Dagi Lona Chola Chopadan Chemi Samchung Nimba Shiwad Chodan Timbe Dede Malupa Bemel Hungi Drupra Jingil Dorna Tingne Tsira Tamche Dan Techi Pardu Nekav Tamche Tu Rese Kyamne Lama Kele Me Tukche Chingi Dala Siksus Gongyab Drewe Nyamda Da Chola Chesun Lame Tuje Rab Gong Kudan Sungi Nawa Drame Tu Nyam Sunyo Kesan Tobrash Yewa Kundo Yanda Lama Dan Rame Cheki Pela Longche Sadan Lamge Yonde Rabzor Dorje Change Koba Nyurto Visho Pakyuke Kudan Dagi Lo Pakyuke Sundan Dagi Nga Pakyuke Tukdan Dagi Tenyerme Chikto Jingi Lo Makyuke Kudan Dagi Lo Makyuke Sundan Dagi Nga Makyuke Tukdan Dagi Tenyerme Chikto Jingi Lo Om Muni Muni Mahamun Shakyamunye Swaha Mahamuni Shakyamunye Swaha Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamunye start with the recitation of the first part of the Guru Puja. Dechen ale rani lama lai kande selve kule veseretso chochur trebe nuju chinla pe taba ranjam bashi yundeng kebe keba penson sobara gyo rabkara kesen chenpo ngani le dadang kanya magen simchen tengne jese chanchu nimpo para lama kuncho sumla kyapsutro namo guru bye namo buddhaya Maya Namo Sangaya Namo Guru Bhye Namo Buddhaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sangaya Namo Guru Bhye Namo Buddhaya Namo Dharmaya Namo Sangaya Ma Simche Kunge Tunge Chir Dani Lama Har Gyurne Simche Tamche Lama Koban Chola Kobracha Ma Simche Kunge Tunge Chir Dani Lama Har Gyurne Simchen Tamche Lama Lai Koban Chola Kobracha Ma Simchen Kunge Tunge Chir Dani Lama Har Gyur Simchen Tamche Lama Lai Koban Chola Kobracha Ma Simchen Tam Chege Tundo Dagi Tsedi Nila Nyurwa Nyur Deme Sangye Lama Lai Koban Ndoche Ma simchen tamche dunga ledre dechen sangye ki sala kwepracha teye chirtu lam samo lama lai nejo nyamsu lamwara ki Omo ahun, omo ahun, omo ahun Owo yeshe la namba nan chedan cheze soso namba chile wambu Cheyo to de donge yeshe kebra chenge be sadan pana nange kyandam che yonso kya China samwe chotin tamse chense samge mikya pe kanwarangyo Deton yerme lala yamba kunsan chotin tripe wo Lama meto tribu yonze dogu pasam chembetse Donga barwe rinchen triten chuge nida gebet Karin sumde tsawe lama sangye kunge ngowo ni Namba ngurme zimbe gelon sheche chanye zumkarat Chaye cheche yomba nyamsha duse kangwe longse na Kurkun damden chogo sumso serdo penshe ulaz Tokara kyabda dorche chanwa sheche chanye kudo ngo Dorje sungne yincho margyo lenge dedun rolbegi Nama rinche genge teshin haze dagi natse lo Tsimbe gende ve ser tomba chatsu nange korwe Dorje kiltron sulge shupe pungbo namda deshe nga kamshi yumshi keche tsagyo tsina jancho sempa Pabo dracho nidri chikdon yan la trubo wambo ni Veser chogyo nejin sawa chikden pana shabgid Tago rimshi ngogyo lama yidam kingo la tso dan Sangye jansen pavo kanro ten songya tso kornesh Dedara gosum dorche sumse hunge veser chagyo vi Ranshi nene yeshe pana chendra yerme tempara kyun Pinso dele chune tu sumge tsagyo lama yidan kuncho sum Pavo kanro chogyon Tukche wange dirshe temprashu Chona ranshi drovo kunre ya Natso duche samba chishintu Chiryan charwe kense trinlech Kyabgun tamba korche shiksu sum Omo guru buddha bodhisattva dharma pala sapari vare ehya hitsa hong bam ho Yeshe pana tamse pada nisu me para gyuru kange tuje dewa chenpo ye kusung goban chugyan keche la Totse lama rinchen tabu ku dorje chensha pemo chatse lo Rabchan gyalwa kunge yeshe Kande chiryan charve tabke cho Murme zimbe karge nero Kyabgun dambe shabla chatse lo al harchet Pame yende rinche tsoge te pende malu chungwe goche po Chetsun lame shabla chatse lo larche tumba sangye kunge ngo Gete shiton tamcho chungwe ne Hatsu kunge una lange wa Trinche lama namla chatse lo Tusum chochur shupe lama Rinchen chosum chawe tamche la Techi mebe tuyang gyaso che, shindu nyambe ludru cha tse lo, kyabkun che tsun lama korchel, naso churin gyaso bilwa ni, kwele rinche weba noyan le, tache dutsi chushi degi, dombo sima tringwa pele pa, zebe medo sadam parnankan, tishin peki duba bendurye, yarke ngompo triki lalantri, nida norpo rabkara tongmet, Tongsu mese vese tseka go gabo tsenden kurgon trigo pe pechon sochen koryo konek roge chuden sacha tungwa dan lhada mi shase lumbop natso romo cheran danyele chungwe danye gyuwe sasong sutra triro rekche pelsin pe china ham chokun kyam sa shi pege choshi medo tra rira lingshe nide genpad sangye shinto mikde uwarge drugu namda shingla chubrash chewa trage lingshe lumbro che rinchen dinda nyewe rinchen so kunga gebe nochu pinsun so alami longcho dugu terchenbu dawe simge pulchun shinge cho kyabkon tuche chenla ulwarage ye dam guru radna mandrala kam niryata yami ngoshan yidro yishin gyatso ngo sishe namkara lewo chunzeng dado gebe kunge yidro shin chikden lede ranshin gosong gebe medo chiyantra kunsan chebe trinso bumdrosh lapso rimnye lange rende pe gatsen chetsun lama nye chib Kurkun damde sampo tringe chen roge pelzinge che tongwa chagyo nga dan roma nga la so chandun barwe dutse gyatso cho iwon la zo balzin tru chun shin debe gyutse la ge lutra shinge nga ge lhenge ponye tso tsedu gyume chagya nangyab timde lhenge dewe yeshe che chogu ranshin tondan rewe yarme lunru masam chole de tanda chancho semcho kyolab Nyomo shigya tsashi necho pe sampo mingi chedra natso ta kene gi chirda rembulan namkara jesim baso sondo so tome dune mige dikpe le gidan gitse yiran chichip tuje chenren chengar gyosem gi shakshin lenche migi domp tema dandre ya milam jishin keba tamchek dega chiryan charwe namkara la dacha samba tabe yirango Pulchon kense chunsen bumre te taye drode pende kunde Kedan yundu neda pewe chir sabge choki charba abdos Dorche kola keche minga yan sumcho wange gyabo sama Dacha meba jishin site bar Nyange mida tabra shoso so dedra trumbe namkara gewet Kadrin sumde chetsun lama ye tira kundo drame jezen Sunchu dorje changwa top chir ngo yunden chungne tsurin gyatso che mando norbo tsoge yonsu tam orme zimba tungwa neden duwa zinla solwad mime tsewe terche chenre zi trime kembe wambo chambe lian dubu malo chumse sangwet kanje kebe tsuken tsunga pa losan rabe shabla sowad Mime tsewe terche chenre zi, trime kembe wambo chambe lian, dubu malo jumse sangwet, kanche kebe tsuken tsunga pa, losan rabe shabla sowa de, mime tsewe terche chenre zi, trime kembe wambo dubu malo jumse sangwet, kanche kebe tsuken tsunga pa, losan rabe shabla sowa de, omo a guru vajradara sumate kirti siddhi hum, Om A Guru Vajradhara Sumati Kirti Siddhi Hum. Om A Guru Vajradhara Sumati Kirti Siddhi. Om A Guru Vajradhara Sumati Munisha Sane Karma Uta Vardhanya Shri Parra Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Hum. Om A Guru Vajradhara Sumati Munisha Sane Karma Uta Vardhanya Shri Parra Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Hum. Om A Guru Vajradhara Sumati Munisha Sane Shri Bhadra Varsamanya Sarva Siddhi Hum Hum Om A Guru Buddha Siddhi Hum Om A Guru Buddha Siddhi Om A Guru Buddha Siddhi Hum Yenden chune tsurin gyatso che, mando norbo tsoge yonso ta, ngorme zimba tongwa nipe che, neden duwa zingla sowa de, kandan dena devra shekbe lam, tembra bebe yenden chuden pa, malyo gyalwe duzon choge che, tikcho gyewe shela sowa de, gosum ledam lochen soden ra, yodan gyume ngadan gyushe shin, tenyi chusun ridan cheke pe, dorje zimbe tsola sowa de, Sangye drame chumbe matulwe maron duge nikdu drwala deshe lamsan chishin tempa yi kyabkun tuche chen la sowa Gongya mebe drwa mambo la gyawe tseba nyevra druze pe kyabkun tuche chen la sowa Daja sonam shindu lenga pe kyabkun tuche chen la sowa Gengi korlo ni tabge gyuru drawe choge le tame tsuge drawa drenze pe kyabgon tuje chen la sowa de keche yin la nam de she ringa yabyun simba dan trove wambo ranshin chosumge danye lama chola sowa kungye ye she reba le chonwe kingo korlo jewe danye te rige gyabda dorche zimbe tso sunjo tambo gun la sowa de Chime lenge gawe reba dan yerme tenyo kungya kungi da Toma tatre kunsan tendamgi chancho semgo kyo la solwa de Keni lama kyo ni yidam kyo ni kandro che kyonte Tene sonte chancho parado kyo min kyab she mi tsowe Didam pardo chi me tari to che cha gyu som so la se shi chi trol ngo drup kun sol tengi trol tsu pa chu sum kyo ni lama kyo ni yidam kyo ni kandro che kyong Tene son te chancho parado Kyo min kya she mi tsolwe Didam pardo chi me tari To che cha gyu son sola Si shi chi trol mo dru kun so Tengi tro tso pa cho son Kyo ni lama, kyo ni yidam, kyo ni kandro che kyonte. Tene sonte chancho pardo, kyo min kyab she mi tsolwe. Didam pardo chi me taryan, To che cha gyu song so la Si shi chik trol Ngo drup kun sol Tengi trol so pa cho song Kedarlen son sol wa ta pe tu La me ko son to ge ne nam le Du tse ve ser karmar tin ka son Rim dan chik char chung ne dan gi Ne son rim dan chik char tin pa le Drip shi tak chi nam da wang shi top Ko shi top chi lama ni ba shi Ge shin timpe chingi la para kyo Sangye chodan soge chonam la chancho pardo dani kyapso chi dagi chishe gibe sonam gi rola pinchire sangye drupa resho Sangye chodan soge chonam la chancho pardo dani kyapso chi, dagi chishe gibe sonamgi, drola pinchira sange druparisho, sange chedan sogi chonamla, chancho pardo dani kyapso chi, dagi jinso gibe sonamgi, drola pinchira sange druparisho. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, as we continue with the explanation of the Guru Puja, which is this meditation practice, it's not just a ceremony or a prayer. It's actually much more than that. And even though very often we call it a ceremony or a prayer or something like that, the Guru Puja is an actual meditation of Guru Yoga, and it's an excellent one, the way how it's made. Anyhow, yesterday we had a long introduction about the part where we are now, which regards requesting the blessings, making prayer, making requests actually, more than requesting the blessings, which is the part in which we train our own faith. And I'm not going to go through the whole introduction as we did yesterday, but just remembering, this is a moment in which it's important that we will cultivate our faith. Faith is not something that it comes out of nothing. It's something that we can generate, we can cultivate. And when we talk about faith, it's not blind faith. Faith is actually the fact of believing, having trust in the existence, in the qualities, and in the functions, in the potential of something. So it's like if I am thirsty, I have faith in water. So in the moment I have faith in water, I believe that water exists. I believe that water is clean and clear and cool and so on. And so I believe also that water can help me to eliminate my thirst and so to eliminate my suffering. So once I have such trust, what happens? I desire water because I am thirsty. So once I desire water, I'm going to do anything I can to get water. So I have effort. And once I have effort, I will walk as long as I need and I will get my result until I find the water. So, what happens is that in order for us to gain anything, we need to have effort. In order to have effort, we must have an aspiration, we must wish, we must desire whatever is the object that we want to gain. In order to have such aspiration, such wish, such desire, we must believe in it. So faith generates desire, generates the aspiration, which generates effort. Effort brings results. So, in our spiritual path, in order for us really to put effort in our own path and development and practice and so on, we must believe in the result. We must really have trust in it and really wish it. In other words, we really must desire deeply to reach enlightenment. Otherwise, it's just something more superficial. So in order for me to wish to reach enlightenment, I must believe it's possible. And when we talk about actually having faith in Guru Buddha, it is very, very much connected in having faith with our own spiritual path. It's like if I go to a doctor and I really have faith in the doctor. It's not the doctor as a person that I have faith in the whole thing. I have faith that he can actually guide me correctly on my path of healing. That's the point of having faith in the doctor. I know the doctor is there. I believe he has the knowledge. I believe he has the method. So I really have faith that he will guide me correctly by giving me the right medicine, by doing the right diagnosis, by doing the right treatments, and so on, so I can get cured. So I have faith in the doctor, but the faith in the doctor is directly connected in in the process of healing. Okay? Not just the person himself. Similar to that, when we have faith in Guru Buddha, is directly connected of having faith on our own spiritual path, on our own path of development, which is the most important of all. If we would look between Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, if we would need to make us, separation and see which one is more important, we would say finally the one more important of all is the Dharma, because all the others exist in the service of the Dharma. The Buddha is the one showing us the path. The Sangha is the one giving us the company and the help during our own path. But the main point is actually developing our own inner path to enlightenment. That's the main core essence of everything. So, the stronger is our faith in Guru Buddha, the stronger is our faith in our path to enlightenment. Actually, one is actually helping the other, because the two go together. The Guru is also the example that we have that it is actually possible, so I can do it also, so you can guide me on that. That's why also the word Guru, in Tibetan is said Lama. Actually, one of the meanings of the word Lama, and it's Guru. Guru, it's translated sometime into English as heavy, which actually in Tibetan it's translated as, when we say Lama, La means high, Ma means no. So the one that there is known above, the highest of all. What does that mean? It means that not that the person himself is the highest of all. It has nothing to do with that. It's that the relationship that we have with the Guru is the most important of all. Why? Because the spiritual path is the most important thing. Our own path to development is the most important thing. So, based on that, this relationship becomes so important. It's important for us to remember this relation in the sense that because the Dharma is so important, the Guru becomes so important. If there was no Dharma, the Guru is just another person, as can be a friend or whatever. Okay? So, when we say about developing our faith, cultivating our faith, what we will do is actually connect with the qualities of Guru Buddha. When we talk about Guru Buddha, it's all our gurus inseparable of the nature of all Buddhas, which is actually our guidance towards enlightenment. And it's like when it's somehow similar to when someone came and asked to Lama Ganchen, one journalist one time, he said, "Oh, why do you have so many friends?" And he answered, "Because I relate to the qualities of everyone." We have somehow often a tendency of judging others according to our own way of seeing things, both positively and negatively, in the sense that sometimes we may see someone and we think the person have a very good motivation because we would have the good motivation in that condition, and that person it doesn't have exactly that type of motivation. And the other way around also, we judge someone negatively because we would act in that way, but actually the person is not acting in that way. Okay? So also sometimes something similar happens with our relationship with the Guru and our spiritual friends and so on, which is we have the tendency sometimes to bring the Guru to our level and not us to go to his. So it's the tendency of judging and saying, "Oh yes, he's doing this because of that, and this is his wish because of this and that." And then we go to connect sometimes and to judge and to connect our mind to the mundane aspects to which we give importance in our daily life. Instead, it's like, for example, if I go to a doctor, which are the important aspects that I need to connect with the doctor? His knowledge about curing my disease, his compassion towards me as a patient, his ability to help me. You know? Instead, if I stay discussing about his political views or his personal choices or whatever, what's the point? It won't make really any difference regarding my own process of healing. No? So, it's important for us to focus at the points that regards specifically the spiritual path. So what we do at these verses of the Guru Puja is like connecting to the qualities of the Guru as a Guru, not the quality as a person, the quality of the Guru, of someone that is guiding us on the path to enlightenment. Which are these qualities that we need to connect to? The stronger is our connection to these qualities, the stronger will become our faith. Okay? The stronger is our view of, let's say, daily and other way, the stronger will be our very ordinary way of seeing, an ordinary way of relating. This is the main difference, okay? So here we go through these verses. The first 3 verses we have seen yesterday. Before the 3 verses, there is the part of reciting the mantra, the prayer request of Lama Tsongkhapa Mingtsema, and by doing that, or the Guru mantra of the Guru, and by doing that, we purify all the negativities related between us and Guru Buddha, which means our lack of faith or the negative thoughts that we may have had, and any other negative actions that we have done in relation to that. Then after we start by training our faith, by remembering the qualities of Guru Buddha. So we went through the qualities of the Hinayana Guru, the Mahayana Guru, and the Vajrayana Guru. And then now we get to the next 2 verses, which is verse number 46 and 47, which regard remembering the kindness of the Guru, of Guru Buddha. And then after that, we have the next 4 verses. And the next, actually 5 verses. Let me check. The next 5 verses, which are regarding, then we have the making requests by remembering the qualities of the Guru, which is external, internal, secret, and emptiness qualities of the Guru. We will see that. So the question was, Paula was making the question, she as a doctor understands the medicine, and so whenever comes a patient, she can know, okay, what is her own knowledge of the medicine, what type of sickness is there, until which point the medicine can actually go, can help, and so on. So based on this, can say to some patients, okay, this I can help you. Other patients, look, I don't have the tools or the way how to help on that case. How does it happen in the case of the Guru or the Lama that accepts everyone? How is that happening? No? First of all, there is one big difficulty, I believe, if we can call it like that, which is the fact that it's not easy to help everyone, because we are so different very often. So very often we may find ourselves in situations that we want to help in the best way, and we simply don't know how. This is something that happens in all cases, I believe. But at the same time, what happens is that if we follow the same analogy, on the spiritual path, we are talking about a chronic disease that takes a long time to cure. So some patients are already in a level where they can take some medicine, and other patients, they are not yet at that point, but there is always something that they can do to get better. It's like if you go to your own patient, then there is a patient which you look in and say, oh, look, I cannot cure this disease, but is there anything that I can help? Sure. Can I give some good advice on his diet so his pain will be less? Or can I help him mentally or emotionally or whatever? Yes, there are many ways how we can help the person, even though if it's not completely curing the disease. So on the spiritual path, it's not like the expectation we reach enlightenment right away. It's lives and lives to go. So there is always something that we can do to help each other. But one point which is very similar to the aspect you were saying is that it's also, as we were saying yesterday, it's also part of the responsibility of the teacher, of the spiritual guide, to see and recognize the qualities and the needs and the abilities of the disciple and teach in accordance. So for example, it's like if there are 10 patients, we cannot give the same medicine to all of them, because the medicine that for one will be curing, therefore the other one will create more side effects and will not be of benefit, and so on. So in this way what happens is that the Guru should have the ability to look at each one and find which is the best way of helping everyone, and which is the right medicine. And in this way, for some, that's why some practices were kept secret and still kept secret, because for some people they are very great benefit, for other people they will just create more conflict and problems. So it's like, how to say, it's also in the same time that the Guru should accept everyone and adapt to the abilities of each one. There will always be some people that have more abilities to do one practice or another, and then some specific teachings will be given to one or the other. So it's the fact that the teacher, he should teach each one in accordance to their needs and capacities. And this is the true equanimity. Now, sometimes we have these ideas that equanimity means to have exactly the same for everyone. It's like if I have a doctor and I go and the doctor has 10 patients, what would mean there to be equanimity? That he needs to give the same medicine to all of them? No. Equanimity would mean for him, because even if he gives the same medicine, it's not the same medicine because the condition of the patient is different. So the medicine changes when it reaches the patient. It's not going to have the same effect. So, similar to that, also when we go to our spiritual master guide and he's relating to each one of us, the way how he relates to us is in accordance to his ability to take care of us and to see our needs and our capacities. So, he will act with equanimity because the basis of love and kindness to each one is the same. But he will act in accordance to what he sees as the best for everyone, which not always is the same. Very often can be even the opposite, can look very contradictory also. I have seen this many times myself. I have experienced it myself. So, this is also the way of taking care of everyone in this way. But it's also remembering that we are talking about long-term illness, if we can make this comparison. So sometimes we just see, like there is also in the teachings the saying, in some cases what we do is just plant a seed. You cannot get the fruit right away, but at least you plant a seed and you put some little water. And then slowly, maybe after a few lifetimes you get the result. It's like this remembers me of one story of one great master. His name was Marpa, the same master of Milarepa, Marpa. And he had a neighbor. And this neighbor was a lady, and she had a big field of crops and so on, and she was there. And she had total indifference towards Marpa. No attraction and no aversion. And Marpa, he was a very high realized master, and he saw and he understood. He said, okay, I must create some connection with this lady, so at least she has some connection with the Dharma. If not for this life, for another life, but at least she makes some connection with the Dharma. So he gave her presents, he was extremely nice, and nothing, no attraction, no aversion, just indifference, not creating any connection. So he tried in many ways and she would not create any connection, because the connection is what? With the mind. He's creating some connection with the mind. Acknowledging the existence of the other person, creating this connection with the mind. And she was not making any. So finally he took his horse and he destroyed all her crops in order to try to make her to get angry with him. Because when we get angry with someone, we create a connection with that person. Because our mind connects to the person. No? So, and even in that case, she made no connection at all. So this is also an example to say when there is no karma, sometimes it's almost impossible. I could see like when Rinpoche, he lived for so many years in Milano, we're together with so many neighbors, and so many of them were totally indifferent. Nothing, not positive or negative, completely indifferent. So it's like this is something that we can see. But the other point that I wanted to bring is like this was one method. Marpa was looking the method, even like making her to get angry with him, which is a negative karma in a way, but is creating a connection, so it's a little seed that is being planted there. So there are many ways how to get to. Okay? one important thing also is that similar to what it was, that the doctor needs to have a lot of patience, no? Because when a sick person is coming and the doctor is giving the medicine, the patient is not always taking the medicine in the correct way, and then is coming back and is not following the diet and this and that and so on. So the doctor needs, generally speaking, doctors need to have a lot of patience. Similar to that, a spiritual guide also needs to have a lot of patience, because say one give an advice, then 20 years pass by and it still is on the same point, and I need to accepting the qualities and the capacities of each one. Like I have seen Rinpoche give the same identical advice 25 years later, with the same nice, light feeling, and not saying, oh, look, I have already said that 25 years ago. Like really in a very nice way, saying, yes, maybe do like this, maybe better this way. And it's like in the same nice way, which means having patience in the sense means respecting the capacities and the needs of everyone. Respecting somehow the ignorance of everyone. Saying, okay, it's a gradual process. And here we are together to accompany you. So this is also part of the whole thing. Tutla. Yes. Okay. The question is that when we talk about creating this connection, or this seed that we're planting, no, and making an imprint, because there's a set which is correct, which says when we see actually anything, anyone, especially if we see a realized being, we create an imprint in our mind. Everything that we see makes an imprint in our mind. Everything that we experience leaves a small connection. But when we direct our mind to it, it's like if we somehow stick to that connection. It's like if we make it much stronger. Otherwise, it's like something that just passes in our eyesight, and then maybe a long time after we may remember, yes, I saw that once. Somehow there is a connection there. There is an imprint there. But when we direct our mind to it, it takes a space in our mind. It creates this connection. So there is a difference of simply seeing, which is already something quite good, listening, which is also very good, and thinking about, directing our mind, especially if we have a strong emotion of attraction or aversion. This creates even a stronger connection. Okay? The simple fact of seeing, listening, or thinking already creates an imprint. And actually, we create an imprint of anything that we see. We create an imprint with it. Okay? It's something, it remains there. But there is a big difference of when we think about it, then we have an emotion regarding it of attraction or aversion, then we actually create a connection which is quite stronger than simply an imprint. Okay? So just English, just to conclude this part, also translate this last part. What happened is that very often we can see, like if we read in the histories of the bodhisattvas and things that we can see in our daily life, the master finds, how does we call it, tapke in Tibetan, which is like mesiabili, skillful means to help others, to create this connection of the mind. And sometimes it's like, even in the ways that we don't expect much that it be. So I was remembering just like two cases. There is one man, for example, that comes every time I go to give teachings in Milan. He always comes there to sell flowers. There was one man before him, and then when this man went away, now there is a substitute that he comes all the time to sell flowers. And actually I like very much that he comes.
You know, some people may think, oh, why is this man always coming here to sell his flowers? He's so little bit wise, not in the good sense. How would you say that in English? Furbo. Little bit sly, that he will just come and go to the Lama directly because the Lama is always kind and always give him the money and whatever. I don't see in that way. What I see is that sure, he comes there because he needs the money for his flowers, because he has his son that is finishing his last 2 years of University of Medicine in Calcutta, and then he's paying the university for his son, and that's why he's making money in Italy. And okay, anyhow, sure, he needs the money. But the point is that he comes, he listens to some part of the teaching, he creates a connection on his mind. So whenever he comes, I give him some money that I have, 30 euros, 50 euros. I always give to him whatever I have that I can give. He leaves the flowers there. He's not even selling flowers to each person. He just brings the whole flowers, give to me. And then take the blessing. And then whatever I can give, he's happy with it. But what happens is that there is a connection that creates in the mind. So this is a way of creating these connections. No? Like many years ago in Milano, there was one lady. She would come to the center. She was around over her 60s, and she was a prostitute living in the streets. And she would come to the Gompa with her little car of the supermarket, you know. It's where it was, which was her house actually. She had everything into it. And she would come to the Gompa, and it was not like the most, let's say, convenient person to be in the Gompa somehow, in the sense like her appearance, her smell, the way how she would talk, and she was very loud, and it was not like the most convenient normally that you would expect to have in a meditation place. But she would come, and Rinpoche would always give her, at the time where we were still in the liras, so Rinpoche would give her 50,000 liras, you know, and she would be happy. And some people would think, oh, she's just like coming here for the money, what's the point, whatever, you know. But that's not. It's creating a connection, because when receiving, what's in the mind? Gratitude. And this is also part of what is called, when we have in Tibetan, we call Duengopo Shi, which are the 4 means of gathering disciples, which would mean, not the main point is not gathering disciples, is how to give the Dharma. Because the final goal is what? Is to teach the Dharma. Because the final goal is to help to get out of suffering. And the true medicine for that is the Dharma. But many people are not ready right away to receive the Dharma. So, for example, 2 of the skillful means is to give materially. Because if you are not ready to receive the Dharma, you don't care about it, and you're a very material person, and I give you something material, you generate an attraction towards me. And then this will make possible in another moment for you to receive the Dharma. So there is this connection. Or the other way is to say what the person wants to listen. To be nice and to say things nicely and so on, in order to create a connection. This is something that the bodhisattvas do, in order like to create this connection with the person, in order for another moment actually to go to the actual Dharma. This makes me remember like this last summer when we were making Guya Samaja retreat here. And one day Rinpoche said, I'm very happy that all of you are doing the retreat very well, following the sessions, that you keep silence in the Gompa, that you sit correctly, that you do the mantras in the correct way, follow the sadhana, everything. I'm very happy of that. So please continue in this way. And what Rinpoche was saying also was like, okay, sure, if we are in the Gompa in a way, like very relaxed way and in a complete different way, it's okay in the sense in which I accept anything. But if we're really able to practice correctly the meditation and the practices, that's much better. That's the actual goal that we have here. So the point is that Rinpoche is saying, I accept anything. You come, you like to lay down, you like to sleep, you like to do anything that you want to do. I accept in any way in order to create the connection. But what is the goal? Is to practice Dharma. That's the final goal. That's the main objective of it. Okay. The question is, once we have a connection in one lifetime with a person, for example, we have aversion. Does that mean that as we are reborn in the next life, it will always come exactly in the same way? I don't think it's like that. Even because, actually, for example, if we look at aversion, when we have aversion to someone, and it's because somewhere there is also some sort of attraction. Because when we have aversion to a person, it's because that person takes a lot of space in our mind. So somehow that we are interested about that person. We are giving space in our mind for that person. Otherwise, we would simply be totally indifferent. So it's not taking any space in our mind. Normally, who are the people to whom we generate more aversion are those that we care most. Because there is some connection there. So the connection can actually manifest in many different ways. Sure, I believe that once we cultivate a connection of love and kindness and gratitude and so on, in the future, in these or other lives, it will manifest again in that same direction. I believe that. But a connection is a connection, and it's not going to manifest necessarily in one precise way as the other. About that? Uh-huh. Okay. 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 First of all, the point which we were explaining is not a matter of... Okay, one second. Okay, please. It's not a matter of having credits or not having credits. It's not a matter of credits. First of all, I have no idea exactly how it is. The other guy was supposed to... I don't even want to go into details about this. It has nothing to do here. The point is that what I was explaining is not a fact of him having credits coming to sell the flowers. It was the fact of creating the connection. No, one thing is not, how to say, taking away the other. If he did anything negative, okay, to be where he is, he's responsible for what he did. He has his own karma, he has his own actions, and he will have his own results. Okay, this is obvious. This doesn't mean that there is no benefit on what he's doing and that there is no connection and so on and so on. Things are not so linear. It's not because he did something wrong that everything that comes after that will be negative in this way. So what I want to say is that the point the only reason I was making the example of this guy was for the point of view of creating the connection. So he creates the connections, he receives a benefit from that. This is one thing. Second, if he used non-correct means in order to have that possibility, in order to be that, he's responsible for that. This is another thing. One thing is not taking away the other, in both ways. Okay. So we come back to the actual verses, otherwise I was supposed to do a short introduction, and then here we are still, which is very good, okay? And actually we are talking about the same subject, the right subject, but we need to go back to the text. Not go back, start the text at least today, no? So now, 2 verses, verse 46 and verse 47. Sangye drangme jumbe madulwe marunduge nikdu drowala deshe lamsan chishin tenbayi kyabkon tuje chen la solwa deb tube nima tugi nubgyurte gongya mebe drowa mangbola gyalwe zeba nyewara drub zebe kyabkon tuje chen la solwa deb. We make our request to you, all compassionate refuge protectors. With precision you impart the good way of those gone to bliss, the Buddhas, to the unruly beings of this degenerate age, and were not tamed by the countless Buddhas of the past. We make our request to you, O compassionate Guru, refuge protectors. You enact the deeds of the victorious ones for the many beings who lack protector refuge at this time when the sun-like teachings of the sage are setting. So, let's try to understand these verses. It's not so difficult, actually. It's quite simple. First of all, if reincarnation exists as I believe it does, if it's possible to get out of suffering, as I believe it's possible, once we get out of the cycle of suffering, we will reach enlightenment. What happened to someone that reaches enlightenment, a Buddha? He stops existing or he continues to exist? Continues to exist, no? And what is he going to do? Stay in a sort of eternal holiday? Just enjoying a state of great bliss? In a way, yes. But not in the sense that he's going to act for the benefit of others, which is his main objective. So how can a Buddha act for the benefit of others? By manifesting himself in a level that we can perceive and we can see. Because the only way that anyone can help anyone else is by interacting with him in a positive way. That's the only way how we can benefit. If we put a person that is in need here in front of us, and then we take thousands of Buddhas and hundreds of thousands of people that want to help that person, the only thing that we can do, anyone, is to interact. No one is capable of going inside and changing the mind. The Buddhas cannot do miracles in the sense of entering into the mind of people and change everything. If they could, they should have already done it, no? But it's not possible. So the only thing that they can do is interact. In order to interact with us, what they need to manifest themselves in a gross way, which we call the nirmanakaya, the emanation body, which is the way how a Buddha can manifest with a gross body in order for us to be able to see, to perceive, to interact, and by that to slowly change our mind and get out of the cycle of suffering. So, being like this, how many Buddhas have already passed through this earth? How many Buddhas have already manifested themselves in a gross way? Countless. We're not talking only, Buddha Shakyamuni, then we had Buddha Kassapa and the Buddha before. We're not talking about the 4 Buddhas of this era. There were countless forms of Buddhas that have manifested up to today. They are constantly doing something to help others. But even though many, many Buddhas have come up to now, I am still here. No one was really able to tame my ignorance and my hatred and my selfishness. I'm still here. Not because they were not good enough, because there were no conditions. I didn't have the karma, whatever. Okay? But the fact is that many Buddhas have come and they didn't have the capacity, the conditions to tame my mind, to show me the path to enlightenment. So here I am. If they had succeeded in the past to tame my ignorance, I would have already got out of suffering. Instead, I'm still here. But you, our own Guru Buddha, our own gurus, are the one that is taming my mind, are the one that's showing to me the path of enlightenment. So you have been doing what all the Buddhas of the past could not succeed. Not because they were not good enough, because there were no conditions, there were no karma, it was not possible. But the fact is that you were doing it. So your kindness to me is greater than the kindness of all the Buddhas of the past. Because you are actually doing what all of them wanted to do. And finally, it came to you, which is to show me the path to enlightenment, to help me to eliminate ignorance, attachment, desire, and so on. So, as the verse says very clear, O compassionate refuge, protector, which is the Guru Buddha, with precision you impart the good way of those gone to bliss. You impart the path to enlightenment to the unruly beings of this degenerate age. The time where we live are called times of degeneration. Very complicated time. He said that since the time of Buddha, we were already in the times of degeneration, and it's getting worse and worse somehow. He said that there was a period, this is called Tselo Gyapa in Tibetan, which means the period where human beings have a lifetime of 100 years. He said that long time ago, human beings had a much longer life with a much more like subtle type of body. We had our own, there was not so much difference between the God realm and the human realm. And the human realm had more, the body was much more subtle, the people were more intelligent. There was a whole explanation of this, which were like the good ages, the good time. Then things started to degenerate, and we got to the degeneration time, where everything gets more gross, less subtle, and the lifespan is not more than 100 years. And it said that the degenerate time will get worse and worse and worse until it gets to the end, which is when the lifespan will be of 10 years. And then at that time will come Buddha Maitreya. And then slowly things will go better again and again. It's like cycles, no? When we say 10 years, when our lifetime span gets shorter and shorter, this doesn't mean that, from my point of view, that the time of the watch gets shorter. It's the way how we experience time. If we look nowadays, childhood is the same as before, it's shorter, it's longer. It's shorter. The process of life is getting shorter, even though the time is longer. Okay, things get more and more fast, which means shorter. So, actually, this is the generation in which we live. It's in fact, we are in the times of the generation. So in these times of the generation where it's so difficult to tame sentient beings, you are doing the job that all the Buddhas before couldn't do. So thank you. I'm so grateful to you. So your kindness is greater than the kindness of all the Buddhas that have come up to now. Because related to me, I'm not saying that the Buddhas were not kind and they were not good, but to me, who is actually extremely kind to me? The one showing me the path. So thank you. I recognize your kindness. And it continues saying, no? We make our request to you, all compassionate refuge protectors. You enact the deeds of the victorious ones for the many beings who lack protector refuge at this time, when the sun-like teachings of the Sugat, of the sage, are setting. The time where the teachings of Buddha are like a setting sun. Which means we are in times of degeneration. What is more present in the world? Spiritual path and people with love and compassion and so on, or we have more materialism and violence and so on. Much more. Sorry to say, but that's the truth. So, it is a time of degeneration. Okay? In this time of degeneration, what happened is that it is actually much more difficult even to help others. So who is doing that? Who is actually showing the path to enlightenment? To me, my Guru. So you are doing the job of the Buddhas, because what's the job of the Buddhas? To guide sentient beings. And here there is one important aspect. I am imperfect. We are imperfect. I don't know if there is anyone perfect here. I don't have the ability to know, to see, exactly because I am imperfect. No? To be perfect would be to be totally free of ignorance, to be totally free of anger, jealousy, pride, miserliness, to have full wisdom and compassion and so on, to be a Buddha. Okay? I am not a Buddha, so I am not being perfect. Can I see perfection? No. Because anyone that I look, anyone that I see, I can only see him or her through my eyes. It's like if I have a glass that is red in color, I would see everything red. I am not able to see something without seeing it red. So I cannot see perfection through my eyes. I would only be able to see perfection one day that I become perfect, then yes, otherwise not. So, if I have the perfect Buddha in front of me, how will I see him? Through my eyes. So I will judge, I will see in many ways, as I do now. It's like Buddha Shakyamuni. Each one related to him according to their own way of seeing. Like, for example, his cousin, Devadatta. For him, Buddha was his cousin, of whom he was very envy throughout his life. And he tried to kill Buddha like for 5 times. And even the practice of Reiki, somehow it comes from Devadatta somehow, because he was so envy of Buddha that one time Buddha got sick. And the doctor gave him a very strong medicine because Buddha had a very strong body. And the medicine that the doctor gave to Buddha, Devadatta said, I also want that medicine. And the doctor said, look, you cannot. Your body is not as strong as the one of Buddha. He said, no, I am his cousin. My body is stronger than his. I can deal with it. And he took the medicine by force. And then it was a poison for him, and he was dying out of it, and there was nothing to do. So finally he asked help. The doctor said, the only one that maybe can do something is Buddha. I cannot do anything. So Buddha came and he put his hands on him, and he said, by the power of the truth, if I am truly the awakened one, if I have truly eliminated my ignorance and so on, may you be cured by this disease. And by that he was cured. Started the tradition of healing with the hands and invoking the power of the truth. There are many stories like this. Okay? But the point was that Devadatta, how did he see Buddha? As his cousin, of whom he was envy and so on. So the point is that we see everyone in accordance with our own eyes, with our own projection, and we have no choice other than that. That when we say that the Guru is an emanation of the Buddhas, we should not now try to say, okay, let's see, does he have all the qualities of a Buddha? We go to look in the Abhisamaya Alankara, what are the 80 qualities of the Buddha? And we check, does he have all of this or not? And that's not the point. The point is not if the Guru objectively is a Buddha or not. That's not what we are doing. It's not comparing. The fact is that the Guru is imparting the actions of all Buddhas. For me, he's a Buddha. He's the one showing me the path to enlightenment. He's the one guiding me with kindness and compassion. He's the one doing the job of the Buddhas. So for me, he's the Buddha. And this doesn't mean that I need to go to check and see, does he have all the qualities exactly? Is it like that? It's not. This doesn't mean that the Buddhas of the past were not as good as he is, so he's better than. No, it's not that. The causes and conditions made that he's my Buddha. He's the one showing me the path to enlightenment. There is even the story of one disciple and a master, and that disciple had so much faith in his Guru as being the Buddha and followed so well the teachings that finally the disciple reached enlightenment before the Guru. And then after he was there helping his Guru to reach enlightenment. Because the story also says that even though he reached enlightenment before, he still had so much gratitude towards his Guru. And he went there to help his Guru to reach enlightenment also. So, the point is that when we look at our Gurus, when we look at Guru Buddha, which is the embodiment of all Gurus together, it's really doing the action of all Buddhas. Which other way can the Buddhas do actions, if not by manifesting in a gross way and showing us the path to enlightenment? So, it's connecting to these qualities and generating the gratitude. Connecting to the enlightened quality. This is something that is very important for us. Depending to what aspect we connect, that's what we're going to receive. Like, in many, many traditions, Buddhists and non-Buddhists, there are many stories of great masters that they would just be like a normal person, and then when someone asked for the teachings, they would manifest all their wisdom and so on, otherwise not. Which means depend also on how do I relate. That's what I receive. So what is showing here is that we need to relate to our Guru as the one showing us the path to enlightenment. We need to relate to him as the one that is the bridge to all Buddhas and is the manifestation of all Buddhas. Because why? Because we want to follow the path to enlightenment. That's why. It's not because he must be seen as a perfect person, infallible, or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. It's us connecting ourselves deeply to the path to enlightenment. The more we connect in this way, the more our path becomes stronger and deeper. Okay, I think it's quite clear, no? So, at this point, it is also the fact that actually it's following precisely the teachings of the Lamrim also, which is seeing the Guru as the Buddha. Not because, okay, it's not a point of discussion if he is or not objectively an enlightened being. That's not the point. The point is that he's doing the actions of the Buddha. He's actually the one doing the job for me. So for me, he's the Buddha. And I'm extremely grateful for that. Okay? I think it's quite clear, no? Okay. Okay. So just the last verse, which is connected to everything that we have said, the last two verses that we have just read before, which is still on the part of making requests based on the kindness of the Guru Buddha, and it says, Tubenima tugi nubgyurtena tusun chochugawa tamchela kangibabu puga chizayan taja sunam shintulengape kyabkon tuje chenla solwa deb. We make request to you, O compassionate refuge. We make request to you, O compassionate refuge protector. Even a single hair from your pores is for us a field of merit, more highly praised than all the victorious Buddhas of the 3 times and 10 directions. Which means that you, Guru Buddha, are more important for me than all the Buddhas of the 10 directions. Making offerings to you is like it's more than making offerings to all the Buddhas of the 10 directions and of the 3 times. Why? First of all, because there is a special connection. So I accumulate more merit and I receive more benefit if I do something for those that have benefited me, with whom I have a connection, than if I do for someone that have not benefited me. Like when there is this sensation of gratitude, it's very important. So in the moment that you are the one that is showing me the path to enlightenment, you are the one that is guiding me, there is a special connection. But also is the fact that it's through you that I can reach to all the Buddhas, to all the holy beings. And it's not in the sense that, okay, first there is you, then I go and I can reach all the holy beings and then I don't need any more you. It's the other way. It's like bringing all the Buddhas to us through the Guru. So it's through the relationship, the pure relationship that we create with our spiritual guide, that we can reach to all the holy beings. Because speaking very directly, or we say that the actions of a Buddha, we imagine it in some sort of fancy way, of whatever magical way. Or the actions of the Buddhas need to manifest in the world where we live. In flesh and bone and words and actions. And that's the way how I believe it is. That's the way how all the great masters have explained up to now. So how is this manifesting? Through the people that are helping me and showing me the path to enlightenment, which is not necessarily the Guru, which must be dressed in a way, or this is one aspect, yes, but like in the Gandaviva Sutra, which is depicted in Borobudur, it's showing 50 gurus. One is even a prostitute, which is like different ways how it's manifesting the path to enlightenment. We can find this in many different places. Many different ways. If we know how to see the manifestations, they are everywhere. If we know how to receive the teachings, they come from all directions. And the teachings and when we go to our Guru and we see clearly him as the manifestation of all Buddhas, because it's through him that we get guided to enlightenment. Then, by making offerings, even to a small part of him, we're making offerings to all the Buddhas. It's even more than that. One thing that I want to make clear for me is the fact that, as many of you know, I am quite pragmatic and quite skeptical somehow. No? But being very objective here, the fact is that when we see our gurus as the Buddhas, really as Buddhas, who is receiving the greatest benefit from that? Ourselves. Because what we do is that instead of taking the gurus, taking the sacred to the mundane, we are taking ourselves to the level of the sacred. That's what we are doing. So in the moment that I relate to the sacred as sacred, I elevate myself. I put the effort for myself to go into that direction and not the other way around. Normally, it's like we have the tendency to make the level from below and not from above. So what we are doing here is that we are making the level from above, which means like we are bringing ourselves to the holy and not bringing the holy to the mundane. I don't know if it's clear, this. Okay? So, we receive great benefit from this because it makes us to connect to what is pure, to what is holy in our daily life. Otherwise, we can also have a way of seeing things which is very pragmatic, which is okay also, but this is also pragmatic actually. If we really follow the logics correctly, it's fitting perfectly. And but we can also see everything in a very material, mundane way through our own view and think that it's okay. But what we do, we bring others to our level. We bring what is holy to our normal, mundane level. And then we remain on this level, that's all. Instead, when we connect to the holy as holy, and then we elevate it, naturally we are directing ourselves to elevate ourselves also. Okay. I hope it's clear at this point. It's because it's somehow very important also. Because the more we have it clear, the more we can follow our path in a stable way. Okay? So, with this, we conclude the part of the verses which is called recollecting the qualities, the kindness of the Guru. And the kindness of the Guru means he's more kind than all the Buddhas of the 3 times. To me. Not to everyone, but to me. Because to me, who is guiding me to enlightenment? Him. And it's something that all the Buddhas have not done yet. And that's the action of all Buddhas. So to me, you are the kindest of all. And it's not for nothing that all the great masters that have come up to now, and we have so many teachings saying that of the benefits of making requests to the Guru and seeing the Guru inseparable of all Buddhas and so on. This is something that is really, quite important. Even if these teachings are not taught in the West, because otherwise it looks like the one teaching is saying, oh, you must see me as a Buddha. That's not the point. The point is that, for me, I am putting myself together with everyone. We're on the same level. I'm sharing what is the actual path. And when we see our Guru as the Buddha, what happens is that we elevate ourselves. We direct ourselves to that level, not the other way around. Okay? When we do the other way around, then the tendency is that we will remain in that level where we are, that's all. Okay? So it's simple as that. So the next verses, they refer of making requests by remembering the qualities of Guru Buddha. Outer qualities, inner qualities, secret qualities, and emptiness qualities. Okay? So we will see this after lunch.
Jetsun lame kutse rapten chi namkara tinle chochur gepa dang losan tempe dreme sasomgi mise tatu ne gyur chi nimo dele tsendele nime kuyan delekshin Nintsen takto delek pe koncho sumge jingi lom koncho sumge ngodrup tsol koncho sumge trashisho. At dawn or dusk, at night or mid, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realization and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness. Oma Hon Rinpoche, Kyoba Lame Tamcho Rinpoche, Drimba Lame Gendu Rinpoche, Kyamne Kuncho Sumla Chopa, Locho Sampo, Pelgia Drolo, Sampe Zebra, Panden Lame Shela Chopa. Kanshi Dremba Tsamgi Chinangi Parche Quinsele Shachi Shugden Ringa Tsetensung Kordan Chela Chopa Bul. Kenam Chojin Sowa Tabetu Daso Kandu Nebe Sacho Ter Nedan Wibo Tabso Shiwadan Chodan Tashi Pelwar Zedu So.